Hello and welcome back to daily planning for Bitcoin and gold. Today is the 17th and also it's Friday. Let me check. Yep, it's Friday. So I'm not gonna trade today for your informations beforehand because I will be busy prepping for big feast for tomorrow. My big family is coming in, so and I do happen to like cooking for a bit, so I'm going to prepare. Okay, so recap for yesterday's trade. So yesterday, actually, I could take 3 trades, but I was out most of the time, gathering for the groceries and ingredients for the feast. So if you see for a bit, first of the trades that were possible to be taken if we're playing BOB or Ben on Ben is this. You see that it rejects after it reached the second standard deviations. It fails to even close above our developing weekly view up. So for me, after it went back into the first standard deviation of the view up, it was pretty clear for the invalidations. So in this case, if we're playing by the close, you can go here, targeting on the highs, invalidation on the highs, I mean, targeting either on these particular lows that were meant to be filled, or if you're a bit aggressive, you could try to target near current daily low at that time. So you either yourself get a clean 2R or you get yourself a clean 3.3R. That's for the first trade. For the second trade, I see that it got absorbed here on the lows and also after a period of extensive move to the second standard deviations. So in this case, if you're planning to min reverse, since we are going for bend on bend, so either you enter here, like in this case, after you confirm there's a big supporting volume here, actually either you be aggressive and enter here or you're waiting for some kind of more confirmation. In this case, my thought process at the time was this is a very big buy candle and invalidation is very clear. Just wait for a bit of pullback into this buy candle and invalidation on the low. What's your target? Target is either on your daily view up here, 2.72R, or you could just have yourself a rotations back into this magic line or near the magic line, or if you are pretty eager, you could just aim for the previous standard deviation, first standard deviation. So on the lowest case, you could get yourself a 2.72R. And in best case, you get yourself on the magic line a 4.4R. Nonetheless, it's still a good R. Okay, and on the third trade, here I was trading live with my friends. Personally, at the time I was trading with Encryptalk. You could see him on Twitter. You could look up to him. He's a good educator, a good trader as well. And in this, right after before the New York Open, I see a trap, and also it aligns with my POI, which for me this is a magic line from the value area highs of this particular time frame. So let me show you. Let's see, where is it? Yep. This is on the 3 minutes time frame. Should be around the same, yeah. So in this, I saw that we have multiple overlapping, particularly on this particular area. Oops. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. This particular area is where I saw that majority of the buyers were buying near the top, and immediately after New York opened, they are pretty underwater, right at the exact candle. So at the time, my thoughts were to either wait for the pullbacks, and the pullbacks that I'm waiting is here. Waiting for here, invalidations on the highs, or at the very least, I want to see that it hit this particular candles. So my entry is either on here a little bit early, or I'm just waiting for reactions once more on this particular white line. So I'm waiting a bit like this sweep. What's my invalidations on the highs? What's my target? My target at the time was either the new daily low or we get filled instantly on the SB. Clear reminder, if you remember that this SB was not really fully filled, okay? I did tell you, like 2 days ago, this SB still has some kind of holes, void if you think about it, that hasn't been filled. And in most cases, different exchanges might have different outcomes. Some of them might sweep this and the SP gets instantly filled in their exchanges, some of them don't. But now, after this price movement, we can clearly state that any kind of exchanges is already filling their SP completely. Given how big the wick was, even if they are minor wicks, like on the first touch, we still went down and refilled the SP. So this is a multiple confirmations for me alone without even checking the other exchanges. Okay? So if you are pretty early and pretty eager and aggressive with your trades, you still get yourself a 12 hour. And if you are very, very conservative, you get yourself an 18 hour. Personally, I didn't take any because waiting for the confirmations, didn't get it. Same with the gold. I was also waiting for this. So my current first bias that was telling you before yesterday was, if we are still gaining momentum, then we want to see reactions on our magic line, the higher time frame magic line. But it didn't happen. So I'm changing my bias. We see that the price and momentum stalls and immediately went lower and lower. I was expecting at the time a continuation lower, yes, but entry on the higher time frame, on a higher basis. So I was entry on here for 827 with invalidations on the highs, like previous highs here. And my target was, at the time, was this magic line, which we also did. But my entry was a bit higher, so I didn't get it any. Okay? So that's for the rambling. Sorry for the long rambling. Let's start. And we see that plans. We're gonna make another plans. We see that price still stalls and still hovering between these extremes. So honestly, I didn't expect anything much other than ping pong on these two extremes. Preferably, we're still gonna include this SP even though it's filled, but still has quite a good reactions. But over time, after multiple touch, shouldn't be respected, and we're gonna move to another value area. So until then, we're still gonna have some kind of major deviations and went back to the VA, and then major deviation went back to the VA until one party gives up. For me personally, so we're not gonna have some other plans at it, but if we do have like some kind of stalling here, solely on daily open. We're gonna have aim for the 26 March highs. And if we fails miserably on the SP fails, and then it's gonna go with some kind of grinding movement like this. Like for instance, after the price dumps, it's gonna go with this kind of PA. Then most of the time, like it's often attempts for another continuation on the one side that it's been doing. So if this on down and then it grinds down, about more than 50% chance is gonna go for another leg down. So if that will happen, then your target is here and see for another chance. Okay. But for now, no additions of plan still gonna be added because we're still within the range of these magic lines. So yeah, that's for Bitcoin. Gold, I don't really see we gonna perform SFP here. It's quite high actually, but we do have some reactions here. First touch on the developing weekly VWAP, and then second touch, we're having some deviations and a huge momentum of V shapes immediately. Doesn't give any pullbacks for entries for my system. Okay, so if you're using another system, you might get an entry. But yeah, for now, I want to see that either case, we have a reactions here on the previous day VWAP, if that will happen. But if you want to follow the trend, you want to entry yourself on the daily VWAP, preferably after they're having deviations like this. Okay, so current plan for gold for me is to min reverse back into this VA for bit, which also align with here. But for now, we're looking for a bit of strength from the low. So shorting here is not very optimal for me. I'm just waiting a bit further top. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoy it. See you next week and happy trading.